The law allows for aspirants, through their agents, to observe the counting and tallying process. It is paramount that this right does not infringe on the work of election officials. The Commission documented 33 cases of violence targeting poll centers and officials in various parts of the country. These cases include altercations between opposing political factions, misuse of firearms by civilians, as documented in Bungoma, Busia, and Siaya, physical violence and the destruction of election materials, as witnessed in Mombasa and Kakamega. These confrontations resulted in physical injury to civilians, security personnel, and IEBC officials in Kakamega, Mombasa, Nairobi, and Wajir. In Wajir, an election official had his leg amputated. Cases have also been reported of deaths and abduction of election officials. The Commission has consistently spoken out against and continues to decry the violence, intimidation, harassment, threats, and intimidation of election officials. Such conduct impacts the integrity of the process and must be stopped. We call on the relevant agencies to investigate the incidences and ensure those accountable are brought to book. Conduct, and in the picture there, this is from a polling station in Kakamega. People came in during the counting process, threw away the ballots. You can see the ballots on the floor on the last picture. And you can imagine when the votes are on the floor, how do we count them? How do we verify them? These are instances that we must really not permit, and it's a violation of the rights of those officials and of the election process. Conduct of IEBC officials. During the election monitoring period, the Commission documented 28 incidences of election malpractices by IEBC officials. These incidents range from issuing more than one ballot paper, collusion with politicians during the voting. Incidents were also reported of non-election officials being found in unlawful possession of election materials. Incidents were reported in Kajiado and Nairobi. A presiding officer, if you look at the screen, talks of a presiding officer arrested in Narok, North Constituency, for changing details of the final results in the form, and that was brought out. Polling clerks were produced in court. One of them was seen plucking 4 ballot papers for MCA post, and another marked them. This is very, very strange. I hope IEBC, you look at your officials and are able to account for this kind of conduct, even though they're also facing criminal trial. In West Pokot, again, there was an incident where one officer was arrested and detained for allegedly altering presidential results from one ward. So there are several instances captured in our report that you will be able to read when you look at it. Then there's the issue of affixing results at the polling station. The law requires that the presiding officer affix a copy of the declaration of the result duly signed at the public entrance to the polling station or at any place convenient and accessible to the public at the polling station. This provision is not only mandatory, but it also places a premium on the public's ability to access all the results announced by the presiding officer within their respective stations. The affixing of the results form at the polling station facilitates the verification and increases transparency. In a departure from what was done in 2017, 45 polling stations monitored in 2022 failed to affix the results at the polling stations. I think we do not have the list, but we have a full list annexed to the report, and you'll be able to see exactly which polling stations failed to comply.